With the maiden rail budget, the Modi government has set the tone now for the super budget. There are some big risks and some really bold decisions. So the usual goodie bags have been skipped. Instead, the Modi government has decided to strengthen the existing systems. Has he underpromised and hoping to over-deliver? Will Modi's bargain work?
एक लंबे अरसे के बाद देश अनुभव करेगा कि सच्चे अर्थ में हमारी रेलवे ये भारतीय रेलवे है। पिछले कुछ दशकों से एक बिखराव महसूस होता था, टुकड़ों में सोचा जाता था। पहली बार समग्रतया भारत के विकास को ध्यान में रख करके रेलवे बजट में बल दिया गया है। 21वीं सदी का भारत, इसकी नींव इस आधुनिक रेल बजट में दिखाई देती है।
Tanvi now joins us for more on this. Tanvi, aside from all the histrionics in Parliament today, how are experts viewing what has been presented in the rail budget? And what expectations has this set up in the industry for the main super budget?
Well, Tina, most of the experts here believe that it is a bold railway budget that has been put out by the Modi government. They are really not caving into any political demands. They are really not caving in to any kind of populism. They need to put railways back on track, and for that, it's all about money, money, money. So, for example, they are going to be linking the fares with the fuel hike. So, every time there is an increase in your petrol and diesel prices, expect your rail travel to go up. Not just that, they are opening up railways to more foreign investment. They are opening up railways to private players coming in and helping the government set up the infrastructure. Now, what does that really mean? They need the money. That is the only way the Modi government is looking at giving comfort and luxury to the Indian passengers. So their message is very clear. If you want railways to function and give you a luxurious service, you need to start shelling out money. Whether you're a private player, whether you are a foreign investor, or whether you are an Indian passenger. That seems to be the clear message here. It is going to be a long, drawn process that the government is looking at. There is no short-term solution. That's the message we are getting.
Well, absolutely. Some tough decisions, as you said there, Tanvi. The rail minister also talking about privatization. Let's listen in.
The first source is leveraging railway PSU resources. Madam Speaker, railway PSUs have done very well and are financially sound. I propose to bring investable surplus funds of railway PSUs in the infrastructure projects of railways, which can generate attractive returns for PSUs. The second source is private investment in railway infrastructure, domestic as well as foreign. It is domestic as well as foreign direct investment. The growth of railway sector depends heavily on availability of funds for investment in railway infrastructure. Internal revenue resources and government funding are insufficient to meet the requirement. Hence, Ministry of Railways is seeking the cabinet approval to allow FDI in railway sector, except railway operations. Except railway operations. The third source is public-private partnership. There has been a lot of talk about public-private partnership for raising resources. Railways, being a capital incentive sector, have not been successful so far in raising substantial resource through PPP route. Madam Speaker, it is my endeavour to pursue this in right earnestness. It is our target that bulk of our future projects will be financed through PPP mode, including the high-speed rail, which requires huge investments. The fare revision, which came into effect from 25/6/2014, has provided railways a much-needed respite, however little it may be. As I have considered the request of the suburban passengers for revision of monthly season tickets, the revenue forgone on this account would be around rupees 610 crore. Here I may point out the periodic revision in passenger fare and freight rates, as approved by this August House, will be linked to revision in fuel prices in order to insulate the railway revenues from fuel cost escalation.
And moments after the rail budget was presented, the opposition lashed out at the government, calling the budget shocking. But what exactly are these leaders complaining about? It's not very clear just yet.
Well, I think the big picture is that the railway budget has been high on rhetoric and short on delivery. It almost looks as if an effort has been put in place to sell the family silver and privatize the railways lock, stock and barrel. It's not a railway budget. It is a statement on privatization through a public-private partnership model. And coming as it does, after a 14% railway hike, where there would be a logical expectation that the revenues which would be raised, which would then be spent upon the modernization of railways, that part of it was completely absent.
तो ये बिल्कुल जो जब बीजेपी आती है, ये बड़े लोगों की पार्टी है, कॉर्पोरेट हाउस की पार्टी है, घरों की पार्टी है। जिन लोगों ने इसमें इन्वेस्ट किया है इनको इलेक्शन में जिताने के लिए, अब ये निजी हाथों में जा रहा है, रेलवे पक्का जा रहा है। कल भी मैंने कहा था एक दो टीवी के ऊपर कि भाई रेलवे को निजी हाथों में ये जा रहे हैं समर्पण करना है। ये सब पृष्ठभूमि बनाई गई है। एक तरफ इनका मंत्री बोलता कि बुलेट ट्रेन में 1 लाख करोड़ कितना चाहिए, तो आखिर ये पैसा आएगा करते FDI। अब विदेशी कंपनियां हमारी आएगी हमारे रेलवे को चलाने के लिए। अगले सत्र में फिर ये देश हाथ झाड़ के पूरा हैंडओवर कर देंगे, ये मेरा पक्का हमारा मानना है। और लोगों को जो कुछ जर्नलिस्ट लोग हैं जो बहस करते हैं, मिसलीड मत करिए देश को।